How do you beat spirals besides looking your opponent straight in the eyes and saying, yeah, fuck me harder? Because for some reason you're just a huge masochist and you're either not playing the spiral mirror match, you lost the dice roll, or you didn't come very well prepared to this tournament and you're about to have a really bad time, or you're just there to have fun. In which case, you're staring at your round 1 opponent because there aren't going to be very many Spiral players in the X1, 2, 3 bracket. I feel like if I had a Spiral deck and I went X and 3, I would just drop out, call it a day. We were never playing for fun. But how do you beat Spirals? How do you do it? How do you do it? How do you do it? How come? Yeah, you just look your opponent straight in the eyes and just say, fucking destroy me more. I'm ready for this. I know you spend a lot of money on this. That was the least non-PG intro we'll ever have. Alright guys, into the discussion video, shall we? Robbie, how do we beat Spirals? Please, 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 please help us. Alright, so no one else has really talked about this, or I don't know if it's gone as in-depth with this, or maybe I'm just very early with this, but a few people have been asking about counter picks to the TCG Spiral metagame. And I've been looking at a lot of OCG deck list and what people have been talking about, actually from regionals last weekend, and a few things that I saw people picking up. Now this list is by far not complete by any stretch of the imagination. There are many other ways to go about beating Spirals out there. This is just what I've kind of come up with off the top of my head. Some of you will probably be watching this video looking at this list before I start explaining things like, oh, I knew that. Or a couple of these you're gonna be like, oh, I guess. So take this with a grain of salt, listen to some of my reasoning, my theorio, and we'll get into this. So guys, Spirals as a whole, I haven't really messed with a lot of the combos. I've watched a few videos of the deck. The person that really will be able to survive and do the best with Spirals will be the Spiral guy that develops the deck to be able to play second. And we've had formats like this where the deck was purely imagined to be a going first deck, but the player that could adapt the deck to beat its weakness and go second will be the one that will do the best with the deck. So with that being said though, Spirals are a deck that is heavily designed to build a board, that unbreakable turn 1 board, and it does it through I never thought I would be looking up through our good friend Double Helix here. Now, that being said, there are many ways to fuck this deck over. So, Blue Shirt Squad, before we get into this, guys, come on, show me some love. Green Robbie's been here for way too many videos, and Green Robbie's going to continue to be funky looking Green Robbie for a little while. So, guys, come on, like this video. Come on, come, show me some love. Come on. Just as the water bottle shows me love and rejuvenates me. Alright, so first off, board wipes. Whew. You know what Spirals don't like? Whew, a young board wipe. Now here's the thing though. I didn't throw Torrential up here originally, but I'm going to throw it up here. My problem with wanting to play Torrential though is because you have to draw it going first and set it. It's going to be the issue with a few things here. Once again, you're beating Spirals with them going second. A lot of them are going to be going second cards. Raigeki Dark Hole are out so that you can play on your turn going second to beat the deck. Break their board, build your board, do your thing. This is one of the things that I was thinking about when I was looking at Spirals initially. Do I want to play board wipes main decked, yes or no? Do I have the room to play them main decked? If I draw them, will they hinder me? And that's something that you need to ask yourself. Now, these will probably be side-decked cards when you're going second. This is an attempt to break their board. These two cards will do it. Torrential can be very easily outed by just super agent effect, summon, pop your back row, you chain Torrential. Cool, your opponent's free to move along with their day. I did see a lot of the OCG playing this, and it's it's not so spicy as it sounds. Torrential's one of those cards, it really sucks at 1, it's amazing at 2 and 3. Maybe I'm putting too much of an emphasis on this, but I don't think Torrential's particularly good, but I'm sure some people will find a way to use this. Outside of that, these are really good. Alright, Chain Disappearance. When a monster with 1,000 attack or less is summoned, banish that monster with 1,000 attack or less, and then your opponent banishes all cards with the same name as that card from their hand or deck. This doesn't hit the quick fixes in the graveyard, but if your opponent also doesn't have a super agent to pop this, and you resolve this, then the Spyral player is going to be in a very bad situation. Now, the TCG has definitely proved time over time again that we will side things like Chain Disappearance. Chain Disappearance is probably one of the cards that I would put on the lower end of the spectrum, but if we're going to go the way of like 10 hand traps to be able to combat the deck, then I don't understand why Chain Disappearance won't rear its ugly head as a target for quick fix. There might be some builds out there that are maining Cosmic Cyclones and other board wipes. I definitely think that as a viable side deck card, Draw and Lockbird is infinitely better than this, but this does what it needs to do. Alright, if you're looking at Lord Gaia the Fierce Knight on the screen, this is a combo card that I don't know at the point in time of making this video if the TCG is going to be using set rotation with Gateway to Chaos. This is the card that you play. This is an out to an out. So you're using this card as a card that you can flip the Gateway to Chaos, search for it, and unlock your field spell zone so that you can continue on with your day. This will not show its head at the beginning of the format. This will be something that will be played much later, depending on if the TCG, once again, if we want to play Gateway to Chaos. It's an out to an out, much like Debunk down here, but we'll talk about that here. Very, 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 but Ravi, why would I do that? If you're playing Spyrals, you need to understand that you need your field spell to kind of continue on with your day. If not, you're going to have a bad time. Once again, this is a card that lets you play the deck going second, which is very, very odd coming from me, but it all depends on the progress and evolution of the deck itself. Lord Gaia is going to be one of those cards, like I said, though, that it won't show up at the beginning of the format. Well, it might. I mean, if someone plays this and they get set rotation for a 9-round tournament, well, congratulations, you just outplayed all your opponents. Alright, this is the big one here. We've all talked about this. The TCG and Draw and Lockbird. Well, Draw and Lockbirds are $20 a piece, probably going to go up even higher. And I've seen this be side decked all across the OCG. So, Draw and Lockbird during either player's turn. If your opponent adds a card from their deck to the hand, bada bing, bada boom, you lock the deck for the turn. As an invaluable resource, this does hurt Spyrals. You can still make boards underneath this, but this hurts when this resolves. And I don't know if the TCG is going to go to the extreme of main decking these. Are we going to be in a Tier 0 Spyral format? I don't know. Will Pendulum Magicians be a matchup that Spyrals might have issues with? I don't know. With Pendulum Magicians being predicted to be a deck and that can actually stand up to it, there's definitely a chance there. But when you have Draw and Lockbird, this card gives hope to Rogue. Now, another side deck card that, once again, a simple Spyral Super Agent outs is Deck Lockdown, and it does the same thing. You know, a monster's got to be special summoned from the main deck. This stops adding, and it shuts off Double Helix from summoning from the deck, and it does a little bit more than Draw and Lockbird, but if I have Draw and Lockbird turn 1, I can play it. This card forces me to have it going first. That's the big difference between hand traps and this, and it's very sad to say that, but this card is slightly better than Draw and Lockbird in that respect, but this is better going first, second. Once again, board wipes beat this, but it's such a bad thing that I gotta make that argument, but that's how it goes with Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. But this card does slow down the game to you doing what you need to do, and then you can play this after you do your entire combo. Like, imagine this. So if I'm a Spyral player going first, I open Deck Lockdown, I do my entire combo, play Deck Lockdown, move the turn over to my opponent. If my opponent doesn't have a board wipe to break my board or out this, then I pretty much won the game. It's an out to itself, And every time deck lockdown comes up, it seems so fucking bad. Next up, you guys, this is going to be the rogue pick of the format, in addition to Draw and Lockbird. I mean, everyone's happy because Double Helix is an ultra rare, so you have a copy of it for when you cherries the shit out of it. You'll just reveal it. Now, the deck can still move underneath being cherried. We know that. That's where the second hand trap comes into play. Derp and derp over here. And as I've said, I've seen the OCG only playing 2 of these in the mirror matches. Outside of that, Rogue will probably be playing 3 of these because they want to draw this shit to cripple the deck. It's almost like Zoo testing us all over again. Ash Blossom, I like to hit the machine dupe. People have told me you hit the field spell search. The amount of time Spyral don't actually open up machine dupe is absurd, but this is one of those cards that, like, you gotta consider holding it for, like, the Pot of Desires or something along the way. And Ghost Ogre's probably gonna see the least amount of play, but if the field spell is not active, go hit Spyral Double Helix. We'll have to wait and see. Other side deck stuff, Sanctum Scythe. This is still pretty good, but once again, I have to be going first. This would be something. These 4 cards right here are going first cards, and now don't get me wrong, Solemns are really good because I feel like they can stunt the evolution and the push that Spirals are going to try to develop as they're going. But you need to time when you use it because your opponent can just recover out of it. And if your opponent moves along and doesn't out your back row, and you hold it for that well time, then you're going to be very good off. And same thing with the Sanctum. If your opponent, the cool thing about this is, if your opponent resolves double or agent and targets the Sanctum, you'll just chain it, and then the Sanctum will burn the agent, and then you'll just get to trigger Scythe and hit the opponent's extra deck. And then I don't think your opponent's really going to have anything that they can really do. I definitely think that this could be a viable side deck option. Outside of the hand traps, depending on the situation. So there is that. There is hope. There are very good cards going first to beat the deck, but once again, back row removal, spot removal is going to be an issue for these particular cards. Also, playing Garnet-esque cards, brick cards, it's never going to be something you want. If you set Scythe in your opponent, if you mind game your opponent into resolving a super agent and popping it, kudos to you. You probably deserve to win. The TCG has never been super against things, but I saw a couple Spyral decks in the OCG playing Gamma in the side deck, and I feel like Gamma comes in when you go first. If you draw Gamma, you bait your opponent into a hand trap like Draw and Lockbird or Ghost Reaper, and then you just get a free Omega. Now, I'm pretty sure that Omega is in the side deck, but this is one of those cards. Now we're going to bring up Debunk up here. This is going to be one of those cards where you're siding for your opponent's side deck, and you're going for the counter pick. Omega lets you easily navigate easier underneath the hand traps and give you additional outs. Now, once again, you have to play Garnet-esque cards. Now, Driver is really bad as a vanilla to get that, but if you pull it off, the result will be very good. But you've got to make sure that your opponent is playing that. You need to make sure that the metagame is developed further enough to do that. And which brings me to my next point, Debunk. This is one of those cards that you need. It's a trap card. You have to set it. Same thing as I've said all day. You know, you're not going to be able to resolve the hand trap negation the later the game goes. And I think Debunk sucks, but once again, it's one of those cards that you're siding to beat your opponent's side deck. No, turn 2, or excuse me, set this turn 1, turn 2, and then turn comes back to you turn 3. You need to make sure that you can stop the hand traps. Now, this is if the game gets back to turn 3 and you know you just haven't either lost with your board being broken or something like that. But it's not a super bad call, but when you look at everything else on the list, it doesn't seem as good as the rest of them. You know, there's enough stuff that we have in the current game of Yu-Gi-Oh! To hurt Spirals, whether or not it's in the mirror match or Rogue. You know, this is very good for stun decks, but you just got to draw this and you need to resolve it going first. You know, board wipes are available, though it sucks we just lost one. It's not much we can really do. You know, as I said, Blue Shirt Squad, you know, this isn't everything. To Beat Spyrals. This is probably just the tip of the iceberg that I've seen from the OCG results and with the TCG, thinking that this is going to be amazing. I can't wait to hear the reports about this just getting destroyed by Super Agent. Ugh, be licking my lips in extreme sadness all the time. So, guys, if I missed anything, please share it with the audience. Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. How do you beat Spyrals? Besides taking your opponent's deck and flushing it down the toilet. I heard that one and I laughed, but we were never doing that. It's just rude. I'd rather, if I get banned from Yu-Gi-Oh, it's not because I flush my opponent's deck down the toilet. So bad. Things I read on the internet. Alright guys, I'm out. Deuces. The ride never ends, guys. Make sure you enable those notifications to get the latest videos that are being posted on this channel. Make sure you guys check out VanCole40 for my Cardfight Vanguard channel. And join me and House of Champions on the Zodiac Duelist TV Twitch stream. We'll be interacting with our audiences. And please check out No Limit Gaming and LGTCG.com for the cheapest trading cards on the market. Thanks for watching, guys, and please have a good day.